think listening to a number of speakers on the issue, it was clear that many people were disappointed that we could not have this national project, prosecuted. But of course, it is not lost yet. Listening to the discussions, it means that it's likely that this will come up again, if not this year, maybe next year. It is part of the government, as the president said, that we should have further consultation, discussions.
When we started discussions and we ended the discussions, I realized from where I again sat that people were very frank, people were very honest, people were very dispassionate or passionate in how you want to look at it. But they just expressed their opinions and expressed their opinions very well. I think that the objective of this very meeting has been achieved because we have documented lessons.
If you look at it, it's a three-pronged approach. From the implementers at the top, and the channel through which the information is going through is the media. As journalists, we are in the middle there before it gets to the people. So that's the critical role that we play. We see ourselves as very integral and very important. That's why we've been part of the conversation. Some people have accused the media of taking sides, some were for yes, some were for no. If you ask me, the position of the Ghana Journalists Association that has been reiterated by our president after morning was that GJA took a stand that yes, we needed to go ahead and vote yes at the referendum to improve and push for more participation in our local governance.
This particular referendum support we gave didn't come to the expected end per the things that we discussed earlier. But I think that it is not a bad thing per se to get a referendum aborted. For me, I think the key thing is that what did we learn from that referendum processes, whether it was aborted or not. At this point, we've gotten to the stage where we would want to call it a suspended referendum, an aborted referendum, like a setback referendum, any of the terms that we would want to use. But the referendum didn't happen. And so we thought of the fact that we needed to just get some lessons that we have learned from some of these processes. Then we can move the process forward. I think it's very key. If you're implementing a project and you don't learn, you can't improve and do something different. And so we thought of this. And today in Accra, in the IDEC office, we have called a meeting of that sort. The objective for the meeting was just for us to handle some lessons and look at the way forward.
And so to have a broad coalition, to have an inclusive governance system, you need to explain to the people what it will look like. Because going to ask people to vote for something without them knowing how the new one, they will say the devil you know is that the angel you don't know. Exactly. So let's bring the angel we don't know forward and study the angel and let everybody play a role in shaping this angel. And then once you say this is the angel, we are all part of that angel.
Looking at the time the referendum was going to be organized and when education started, and the time was too short. So education should not only be adequate, but it should start very early so that it can reach as many people as possible.
Whoever is leading at the top must have one single message, that we'll have one voice, we'll sing, dance the same thing, and enjoy at the end of the day when there is victory. And we are pushing for one thing, development for Ghana. And the message is Ghana first. What is good for Ghana? Citizens, not the political parties. That's key.
If there are different groups supporting the same cause in different parts of the country, there must be some coordination of their activities. Otherwise, what you get is different messages and even contradictory messages. So we have learnt our lessons. We are going to go forward.
For me, it's always a two sides, the duty bearer and then the civil society that we work with, or the citizens. How were they able to carry the information that they had from the state actors and then passed it on properly to who was supposed to now do the final work on the referendum? How were they able to do it? And again, they acknowledge the fact that they didn't have enough capacity because the terms were terms that were not familiar with them and everything. So we need to correct that, and we need to make sure that we build that capacity enough for them to engage the citizens so they can understand what the referendum process is about, and then they would act on informed, or they can make informed choices.
Can you believe that when we go to vote in the presidential and parliamentary elections, we sometimes obtain 79% voter turnout? When we go to local government elections, the last one, 33%. Now, when you have elected, only 33% of the people have elected people to go and represent them in the assembly, they have no legitimacy. 67% of the people have not shown any interest. It means there's something fundamentally wrong, and the time has come for us to look at the shortcomings of the system one by one and see, and this is why the referendum came.
Some of these workshops are more like a talk shop, and so it ends in this space. How are we moving beyond this space and ensuring that whatever we have talked about, whatever we have committed to do, we will do them? And it would only happen when we document it and we give ourselves timelines and say, henceforth we will do A, henceforth we will do B.
We cannot underscore the importance of the two political parties. Yeah, we cannot underscore them. I think if the referendum is going to come, we need that consensus again and again and again. If we can't have that consensus, then the alternative approach will be to build a large coalition from below, to have a bubble up, to the extent that the political parties can no longer oppose it. Just like the referendum for the creation of the regions, it was coming from below. So if a party had opposed it, it would have been an odd out. So this is exactly what we should look at, so that whilst we're looking at having a top-down consensus of the elites, we should also look at a bubble up.
My projections are that the referendum will come back sooner than we think. Why? Because the NDC, whose opposition to the referendum led the president to withdraw the amendment bills, has said that now they are prepared to talk. They want to talk with the president, and the president in turn has said that, oh, if the NDC is prepared to talk, I am also ready. So it means the major reason for withdrawing the amendment bills may very soon be resolved.
Then going forward, would have to take the trouble to understand the issues and make sure we're able to decipher. And then if we're able to do that, then we can perfectly or properly educate the people to understand the actual message.